Our weekly immigration news roundup is brought to you by the law firm of Figueroa and Associates. For a consultation on any immigration or legal matter, please call 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. For full stories and more immigration news, visit www.theimmigrantsjournal.com. That's www.theimmigrantsjournal.com.
Hello, my name is Ashley Dawkins, legal assistant at the law firm of Figueroa and Associates, and your presenter with this week's immigration news. We begin with the Biden administration, which settles a lawsuit over Trump-era migrant family separation policy. A major settlement was recently announced by the American Civil Liberties Union involving its years-long lawsuit on behalf of thousands of traumatized children and parents who were forcibly torn from each other under the Trump administration's illegal zero-tolerance practice of separating families at the border. Family separation marked one of the most horrific and high-profile issues of the Trump era. If the settlement is approved, the federal government would be prohibited from adopting a similar policy for the next 8 years. Affected immigrants would be allowed to be in the country legally and receive work permits and other benefits. When we brought this lawsuit, no one thought it would involve thousands of children, take us to so many countries searching for families, or last for years, said Lee Gallant, Deputy Director of the ACLU's Immigrants' Rights Project and lead attorney in the lawsuit. While no one can ever claim that this settlement can wholly fix the harm intentionally caused to these little children, it is an essential beginning. Texas bus trips are still fueling migration to New York City and other cities. In 1 week, authorities in Texas sent over 2,000 migrants in buses headed to New York this month. National controversy erupted last year when Texas Governor Greg Abbott began sending migrants across the country to Democratic enclaves in a political ploy. Since April 2022, Governor Abbott has sent more than 55,500 migrants on buses across the U.S. More than 64,000 migrants are currently in the city's care, and 10,000 are still arriving every month, the spokesperson said. About 600 migrants have been arriving daily to New York, City Hall said this week. Meanwhile, New York City to limit shelter stay for asylum seekers with children. The city will begin notifying some families that they have 60 days to find housing. New York City officials are limiting the time asylum seekers with children can spend in the city shelter system. Starting next week, city officials will begin notifying some families that they have 60 days to find alternative housing. Last month, New York City Mayor Eric Adams' administration announced it would be handing out 30-day notices for adult migrants without children. The move to restrict the amount of time in the shelter system comes as the city continues to grapple with a large number of asylum seekers coming to the city since spring of last year. Over 126,000 asylum seekers have moved from the shelter system so far since spring 2022. Advocates respond that Adams again attacks rights to shelter, endangering child asylum seekers. According to Murad Awadi, Executive Director, New York Immigration Coalition. It's outrageous the way the Adams administration continues to go out of its way to gut New York City's right to shelter protections. This policy ensures that all New Yorkers, no matter where they arrive, can maintain a roof over their heads while they stabilize their lives and get on the road to self-sufficiency. Now, Mayor Adams is putting children in danger by forcing some asylum-seeking families to stay in congregate settings, as well as mandating families reapply for shelter after 60 days, a move that creates unnecessary bureaucratic hurdles for people who are struggling. Mayor Adams must start working towards real solutions, like moving people out of shelters and into permanent housing using city FHEPS vouchers, rather than creating arbitrary rules just to exhaust vulnerable New Yorkers. It's cruel, unnecessary, and clearly designed to force families out of the shelters and onto the street. U.S. releases asylum seekers on the streets. Some suburbs bear the burden. Overwhelmed by a record number of asylum seekers from around the world, U.S. border officials have released thousands of migrants on streets in the San Diego area in the past month, including about 1,400 in the beach town of Oceanside. Twice a day, Customs and Border Protection vans or buses drop off asylum seekers at the transit center in Oceanside, a city of 172,000, about 50 miles north of the border, say humanitarian organizations and volunteers who welcomed migrants and helped them reach their destinations elsewhere in the U.S. U.S. resumes deportation flights to Venezuela. Deportation flights of Venezuelans from the U.S. resumed Wednesday, with the first plane of more than 100 migrants landing back in their economically troubled country under the Biden administration's latest efforts to deal with a swelling number of asylum seekers. This is the first time in years that the U.S. immigration authorities are deporting people to the South American nation, marking a significant concession by the government of Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro to a longtime adversary. In other news, plaintiff files lawsuit for reconsideration of I-485 denial due to being a victim of fraud and bad legal advice. The plaintiff, a native and citizen of Trinidad and Tobago who entered the U.S. on a tourist visa in 1999, residing in the country ever since, filed a lawsuit in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of New York, seeking to compel immigration officials to reconsider the denial of his I-485 application to adjust status. The plaintiff alleges that he was a victim of fraud and bad legal advice from former legal representatives, and that the false representations made by those representatives led to the submission of incorrect information in his application. One of the plaintiff's former attorneys, Owolabi M. Salis of Salis Law, was disbarred in 2022 for committing fraud and malpractice. USCIS issues new instructions for filing asylum applications with USCIS after EOIR dismissal or termination of removal. Effective October 16, 2023, if EOIR dismissed or terminated your removal proceedings and you choose to pursue a claim for asylum, you must submit a current version of Form I-589, Application for Asylum and for Withholding Removal, to the USCIS Lockbox that has jurisdiction over your place of residence. If you had a pending application where EOIR dismissed or terminated your removal proceedings, you must include in your submission any additional or updated information regarding your claim for asylum. And finally, the U.S. Diversity Visa Lottery now open. The Diversity Visa Program, also known as the Diversity Visa Lottery, is a United States government program that allows up to 55,000 migrants to be granted a green card each year. The 2025 Diversity Visa Lottery will be open for registration from October 4th to November 7th, 2023. Thank you.
Our weekly immigration news roundup is brought to you by the law firm of Figueroa and Associates. For a consultation on any immigration or legal matter, please call 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. For full stories and more immigration news, visit www.theimmigrantsjournal.com. That's www.theimmigrantsjournal.com.